The latest news, national issues, the political scene, and conversations with prominent personalities. All these firsthand at the forefront. Good morning. I am Attorney Karen Jimeno. The founder of DivinaLaw, Atty. Divina, is recognized as one of the country's leading law firms. Starting off with only 5 lawyers, including himself, Atty. Nilo Divina established DivinaLaw in 2006 in a modest 220 square meters office in Makati City. Under his incessant drive and passion, the law firm now occupies 3,000 square meters of space, has over 100 lawyers, motivated by their company's mantra, dynamic lawyering. Building on his legacies as an accomplished lawyer, Atty. Divina is the Dean of UST Law School, an author of commercial law books, including the Divina 2005 Compendious Bar Review Series, to better prepare aspiring legal students for the Philippine bar examinations. What fuels Atty. Nilo Divina? How did he climb up to become the high-profile lawyer behind the Philippines' who's who? Live at the BNC studio, the founder and managing partner of DivinaLaw, Atty. Nilo Divina. Good morning, Atty. Nilo.
Good morning, Karen. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time here today. We know how very busy you are. So we'll start off with something light to get to know you better. So we'll show you pictures in our LED. First, we have this picture of District 2, Caloocan City. We heard that you grew up here in very humble background. Can you tell us what life was like growing up in Caloocan?
Well, first, I have to say that I'm very impressed with your research. Very impressive with it. Well, I had a deprived childhood. I am not ashamed to say that I came from a poor family. But I think that motivated me and really, I would say, inspired me to work harder and to where I am now because of course, God's grace. No?
But when you say poor family, gaano po kahirap? Based on our research, meron daw time na kumain kayo ng isang tuyo lang at hinati nyo pa sa mga kapatid.
Well, that's my favorite anecdote. So, my brother, who's now a counselor of Caloocan, no? Very close to him, then and now. Wala kaming ulam, so ang ginagawa namin, pinaghatian namin isang tuyo, no? Akin yung kabilang pisngi sa kanya isa. Tapos yung sabaw namin, made of tamarind, no? Tamarind na sampalok na dinikdik, nilagyan ng tubig at asin. So that was our soup, no? And then of course, we had plenty of rice. So we made do with that, no? Tuyo and sabaw na made from tamarind.
Pero very creative. Ano po ba ang trabaho ng parents ninyo at that time?
Well, my mom was a housewife. My dad worked for costume brokerage firm.
And we heard that at 5 years old, gusto niyo na maging lawyer. Saan niyo nakuha yung idea na maging lawyer?
Hindi, kasi sabi ng isang teacher ko, masyado madaldal tong batan to. Maraming makwento, maraming ang sinasabi at mahilig makipag-argumento. Dapat sa'yo maging abogado ka. So, tumatak sa aking isip na siguro dapat yun ang gawin ko sa buhay ko, maging abogado. So, since then, 5 years old, or until I decided to take up law, that was really what started it all, shall I say.
And we heard that you also had mga abilidad na magdagdagan yung baon nyo. Ano po yung ginagawa nyo that
well,
time?
You really made your research. Pero, so, wala akong pera. So, ginagawa ko. Ako yung presidente ng buong student council ng UST. Nabibenta ko ng turotot, no?
Turotot?
Oo, turotot. So,
Napaka-random
pag Christmas, pag New Year kasi.
Okay.
New Year, di ba? Siyempre, kailangan ng, sound and all. Gumagawa kami ng turotot para ibenta ko sa mga klase ko, classmates ko. Dahil ako yung class president, hindi sila makatanggi sa akin, di ba? So, yun. Tapos, nagtuturo ako, mga odd jobs, tutorial, na para lang may magkaroon ng extra baon. Saka yung nanay ko, nagbebenta ko ano, no? Pansit, minsan pa nga, lingerie, no? Para lang makaraise ng pera para pagpaaral sa akin.
And pati daw turon po, nagtinda kayo dati, nung bata ka pa?
Bata ako turon, tsaka ang favorite ko kasi yung Kamote Q. Noong ako'y presidente ng buong student council, I had 44,000 students under me. Pero ang bangko, 4 pesos, no? Eh, sa 4 pesos na yun, 2 pesos galing para pamasahe. Meron lang akong 2 pesos na pangkain, no? Ginagawa ko lang dahil kulang yung 2 pesos, pupunta ako sa dapitan, o Pinobol pala, ang aking merienda ay sa gugulaman at kamote Q. So, well, I was very happy despite the fact that, well, those are the only things I could afford then.
Well, now you're very wealthy. Nami-miss nyo pa rin po ba? Paborito mo pa rin ba ang mga kamote Q,
Of
sagot
course, no,
gulaman?
that's why I'm putting up a restaurant. So we launch it. One of the specialties is turon.
Ah, exciting.
Pares and turon.
Yes,
I
later
have
we'll discuss
okay,
that.
sure.
We'll discuss that kasi punta tayo sa next part of your life. This is your law school, UST College of Law. At bakit behavioral science po ang napili ninyo na pre-law course?
Kasi inisip ko, halimbawa wala akong perang pang-law, pwede magtrabaho after behavioral science. Usually, ang preparatory sa law kasi political science, no? Eh, mahirap makakuha ng trabaho pag political science, graduate ka. So, pag legal behavioral science, marami kang options. I can go to law school or if I can afford it, have a job.
So as early as that time, iniisip nyo na kung aabot ba kayo yung budget nyo para sa law school?
Exactly. Oo.
And you graduated magna cum laude, valedictorian. Consistent po ba kayong matalino na bata? Bata pa rin po ba kayo noon ay talagang nag-excel na kayo sa school?
Mula grade 1 hanggang law, palagi akong either 1 or 2. Dapat number 1 ako nung elementary, pero dahil ako'y underage, ginawa lang ako sa salutatorian. No? But all throughout, always 1 to 3 basically.
Ang galing. And among your siblings, ikaw lang po ba yung pinaka ganyang katalino or lahat kayo?
Well, all of them are. My brother, as I
Lahat
said,
mga
is a
honor
counselor.
students din.
Well, hindi kasing honor ko, pero honor din. No?
Ang galing. Ano po yung mga ibang kapatid ninyo yung na tinake na course? Meron din po bang nag-law na
Yung,
iba?
hindi, ako lang abogado. Yung second ko, si Arnold, engineer, na konsehal ngayon ng Caloocan. Yung third namin, magtatrabaho sa PCSO. Yung fourth namin, designer. No?
Oh, wow. So talagang lahat kayo accomplished. Let's look at the next picture. And PCSO. So you mentioned kanina PCSO, but you started off as a researcher at the RTC.
That's right.
Before you passed the bar. How important were the things that you learned there sa pagiging abogado nyo ngayon?
Mr. Alam mo, na-realize ko, Karen, marami sa practice, wala sa libro na tutuhan natin. You are a practitioner yourself. I know you realize that many things that we apply in practice are not found in law books,
Yes.
right? But my being legal researcher helped me see things from their total perspective, so far as the law is concerned. I learned things which I never learned in law school.
Yes. And did you see how the judges also work?
Yes, they work with passion, with dedication. The judge then, Ramon Benaventura, is now in heaven, my ninong. Hardworking, honest, work with integrity. And I learned a lot from him. He was one of my inspirations.
And from being an RTC researcher, you ended up in PCSO eventually? Or nauna po ba yung Equitable Bank?
I was with PCSO, legal researcher first, and then PCSO, and I got invited to join Equitable Bank.
But how did you end up in PCSO?
Because Mita Partevera, the former GM and chairperson of the PCSO, had a friend, and that friend was quite close to me, and I was recommended basically to Mita Partevera.
But for you, that must have been an odd trajectory because for law students, after going from law school, you usually think of working in a law firm or being corporate in-house counsel. But PCSO, normally,
I was corporate secretary, so
Yes.
it's related to law. But eventually, I was appointed general manager. So, well, basically selling sweepstakes tickets.
Kaya very, very different from a
You know,
regular
I would always tell my
lawyer,
students,
no?
I used to sell sweepstakes tickets. And they would, sir, are you sure? Yes. I sold sweepstakes tickets when I was general manager, of course, of PCSO.
Yes. And from there, then you went to Equitable Bank and you were
That's
there
right.
for 11 years.
11 years. I rose to become its youngest executive vice president ever appointed.
And what was the biggest lesson you learned from that job?
Biggest lesson, friendship and network. By saying network, of course, I mean friends, no? People who can help you in the course of your profession. So when I put up my law firm, it was easy, well, not that easy, but not so difficult to get clients.
Oo, kasi you had all of
Yes.
these corporations and
That's
also
right, that's right.
friends from the banking
That's
industry. But Attorney Nilo, kung hindi ba binili ng BDO yung Equitable Bank, would you have stayed?
Well, well, how to say it? I was offered to stay by Ma'am Tessie, the
Yeah.
chairperson of BDO Karen. But I thought that the path for me after the Go family sold their shares in Equitable was to put up my own law firm. And thanks be to God, the BDO also became one of our valued clients up to now.
And let's look at the next picture. This is on more personal level. You met your wife, Corazon, in law school.
That's right.
At dahil Valentine's na next week, can you tell us a bit more about how you met and how you were able to win her over?
Well, she was very pretty. Well, of course, she's still pretty now, but she was very pretty. And the crush of everyone, because she
In
looked
law
like a
school
movie
noon.
star. And, well, I had nothing except my brains, perhaps, no? So to get her attention, I studied beyond the chapter assigned for the class. So everybody was only on chapter 1. I was already on chapter 3. So when I had my recitation, so thanks be to God, I was able to impress the professor, given the extent of my preparation, and that caught the attention of my wife. No? And then we were introduced by a common friend, and that started it off.
Did you help her study through your law school days?
Well, no.
Hindi?
Nahiya siya.
Talaga? But you did offer na tulungan na lang siya or mag-study together?
Hindi.
Hindi, okay.
Magkakahiyaan eh.
And how long were you together until you got married?
6 to 7 years.
So after law school po,
That's
nagpakasal
right.
na kayo. And we heard that you have 2 special children, your eldest and your second. What was it like having to raise 2 special children?
Well, one of them is already in heaven. He passed on last October. Well, it's I always consider them as blessings from God. You have to embrace your cross, as they say. And I would always tell my second son, when he was still alive, and so with my other special child, that they are my blessings. The reason where we are right now is because of you. No? And I always tell them that I love them unconditionally, no matter what. And every now and then they would tell me, Dad, you love me unconditionally, right? Of course, son. I love you unconditionally. Nothing would change that. No, come what may.
Oh, that's really sweet. And you consider them, though, your lucky charms?
My lucky charm, yes.
And your other child also came out recently. What is it like to have a son that's part of the LGBT community?
Oh, so you did your research. Yes, he's my fourth. Well, I hope he'll be able to take the bar examination this September. He's preparing for it. No? I love him dearly, and I love him likewise unconditionally. You know, you have to love your children, right? I mean, no matter what, whoever and whatever they are. So I love all of them. Likewise, my fourth.
And tanggap niyo na po ba kung, let's say, mag-introduce siya sa'yo ng boyfriend?
That's our deal. No boyfriend until you become a lawyer. And hopefully I can convince him no more boyfriend forever, right? So that you stay.
You sound like talaga typical Filipino parent. No boyfriend until
No, we just came from
but yeah.
Hong Kong. We had a one-on-one bonding moment. Sabi niya, Dad, I need a break. So we went to Hong Kong. It's probably 4 days of just eating, a little shopping, and conversing. No? So,
That's so nice. Do you do that as part of your tradition na binabakasyon mo yung mga anak
yes,
mo na tigi-isa?
Yes, one-on-one. So that's why I have so many memories of my second son. I think we went abroad together 15 times, just the two of us. Because, you get to meet your son if it's one-on-one. I have 5 boys, and all of them compete for my attention. So I didn't know where to turn my head. So everybody asked me a question. So I thought it's best that I spend time with them one-on-one. And it helped me a lot.
And in your experience as a father, hindi ba sila nape-pressure seeing your accomplishments that they feel like they have to excel in school and then eventually excel in career.
Well, I think the pressure is on them because and I always tell them, son, just do your best. Just do your best. No, don't be pressured by all of this stuff. The pressure on them because they're always compared with their dad. No? They need to be told that as long as you give it your best shot, leave everything to God, the result is just secondary.
And you mentioned one of your sons will be taking up the bar this 2025.
That's right, Karen. Yeah.
Do you have any other sons that
Well,
will
my
take up law
my youngest
or
son is
taking up law?
in first year, and looks like he'll be able to make it to Dean's List this December.
Oh, wow. So, took after your brains. So, paano yung lahat sila mga magiging Divina Law? rin?
Only two, so two. So well,
Yes.
good for me because the law firm is named DivinaLaw. So if something happens to me, at least they will continue with the law firm.
Oo nga. Is there anyone among your sons that reminds you of yourself, that you feel like really took after you?
Well, fortunately, all of them, but more so with the second. My second was very cheerful, a friend to everyone. So he would greet everybody who would meet him. He would meet along the way. So that was basically me. I saw myself in him. I saw, of course, myself likewise, glimpses of me in my other boys, but more so with my second son.
In terms of
That's why I miss him a lot.
personality. Oo nga, and must have been very difficult, no? The
Very
laws.
tough, yes.
So let's look at the next picture, and this relates to your career. You had as your first clients a lot of billionarios, including Tessie C. Coson and Antonio Go. So how were you able to get them as your clients when you were still a young lawyer?
Because of precisely the network and the friendship that I established when I was still with Equitable Piseba, video. I used to be in that camp, no, but Ma'am Tessie, thanks be to God, saw the good in me and hired me to become one of the bank's lawyers. Tony Go, a very good friend.
Pinaka-close po kayo kay Antonio Go.
Yeah, very close. Tony Go is the closest. Well, he basically helped me all throughout, from the start up to the present.
And that was because of you working in Equitable.
I was his CORSEC and legal counsel.
And what advice did he give you that really mattered in terms of your career, that you now looking back can say that was a good advice?
Well, two things. No, I remember very well. First is friendship, relationship. That's important, and don't break for the trust of your friends. No? And second, I remember distinctly, if you are to put up your law firm, it has to be in a good location. The building has to be prestigious. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get quality clients. And up to now, I remember.
Oh, so that's something you considered when you were putting
Yes,
up your law
there were
firm?
many options then. No? I mean, much cheaper. It's still in Makati, but much cheaper options. But I realized what he told me. It has to be prestigious address and Pacific. That's why we chose Pacific Star.
So when you started your law firm, it was modest size by the time, but of course Makati is always expensive.
Always
so
expensive.
were you able to fund it yourself at that time?
I bought the 220 square meter property with my partner then, Congressman Edwin Wee. But now we occupy two floors, basically.
Yes.
It's now 4,000 square meter.
And you bought all of that?
Well, I bought the one floor because the other one is not for sale yet.
Yet. But if it comes up for sale, you'll have the
I
money.
hope.
Okay, so now let's go to discussing your career. So you handle over 2,000 cases. Oh, actually, sorry. Meron pa pala tayo isang picture. So, because you mentioned kanina about Paris, you also put up eventually a restaurant named after your mom, Cafe Aurora. And this became one of the best new restaurants in 2023. And what dish are you most proud of in Cafe Aurora? Tsaka
Steak.
paano kayo napunta restaurant?
But the best new restaurant for 2024 by Tatler.
Okay.
Bakit nag-restaurant? Kasi usually you meet clients, right? You meet likewise your lawyers for meetings. So I thought I must well put up my own restaurant, di ba? So yung meeting with clients can be held in the restaurant. So I have a private dining room, and it's named after me, Nilos, no? So that's where I meet and entertain my clients as well. No?
Did this come out of an idea also because you started spending so much hosting people and then
That's
decided,
right, that's
why
right.
don't I put up my own restaurant?
That's right.
But now that you're seeing the books, does it make sense? But did that become more economical?
Yeah, we made modest income for the restaurant, and the good thing about it is that you can offer a venue exclusively, distinctively DivinaLaw. It's basically an extension of the firm
Ang galing, ha? It's in the same building.
in the same building.
Oh, and why did you decide to come up with Pares?
No, we'll launch this new restaurant by March, serving Filipino food, Filipino favorites. One of them is Pares, but the crispy bagnet, you will like it, Atty. Karen.
Of course,
It's
I'm
very
Ilocana.
delicious.
I will for sure
I know
love
that's
that.
why I have to say bagnet. And then our chickens, not healthy but good Filipino favorite, right? Chicken skin. We have the kimchi gang, and of course the kamote and the banana Q.
Is it going to be in the same building?
Another
as
building,
Cafe
also in
Aurora?
Makati.
Okay. I look forward to trying that.
And it will be named after my dad,
What's your dad's name?
Norlandos.
Norlandos
So I have
na.
for my mom, now I have for my dad. I don't want my dad to make tampo with me. That's why I have to think of a restaurant named after him.
Nako, baka mamaya your sons will also ask to have restaurants named
Well,
after
they
them.
will have. We have plans. We're putting up another restaurant. The name is Mr. Bogchi, no, or Chibog, right? Mm-hmm. And I told them you will own one each.
Oh, you'll have to put up 5 for each of
It could be
your sons.
different branch of Bogchi, right? So
Yes. And what's your favorite dish personally in Cafe Aurora?
I like steak. Steak is that restaurant is built on steak. Of course, now I have to make it less often than I used to because of health considerations. But steak is my favorite kind. I'm sure Libes like steak also, right?
I do, yes. And my husband as well.
Yeah,
so
I
we'll
know, I
have to
know.
visit your restaurant.
Yes.
So now let's go to your legal career. Your law firm handles over 2,000 cases.
Well, to be exact, active 1,540 active cases. Then, on top of that, you have, as you know, corp deals, transactions, M&A, restructuring, data privacy matters, IP, taxation. So the whole gaboodle of running a law firm.
So it seems like you know even the exact number of the active cases. So do you personally supervise all of these cases?
There is a rule in the office that if it is a big account, no, from our, of course, there are certain standards. It has to pass to me. Pleadings, opinions, they have to be clear with me because any opinion rendered by a partner binds the entire law firm. So, of course, we have to make sure that that opinion carries my imprimatur.
Okay. And are you expensive? Dahil yung question lahat kasi kilala yung name, but a lot of people always say, gaano ba siya kamahal or mahal ba talaga si Attorney Divina?
Well, I'm reasonable. Reasonable man. Reasonable lang ba? But they say mahal, pero we're reasonable. We're flexible.
So,
We do pro bono case likewise, no?
and you have a high batting average in winning cases. Have you ever lost a big case?
Well, another talk about that. So might border unethical. But we handle cases as if our lives depend on them. The problems of our clients are our problems. The challenges are my challenges. I take everything personal. And the client is not just a client, he's a friend to me. And if you're fighting not just for a client but for a friend, you give it your best shot.
So you really take it personally?
Yes.
Have you had sleepless nights pagka natatalo kayo or because you worry so much about a case?
Well, as much as possible, try to be detached, right, from your cases. But sometimes you cannot help it. No, I lost sleep not over personal problems, but I lost sleep thinking about what is good for the client. No?
And Attorney Nilo, you're also a very religious person. So you're not only a legal luminary, but also religious. What is your stand on having a divorce law passed in the Philippines? But before you answer that question, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back.
First, updated, on top of everything, and focused on the things that matter most. This is who you want to be. So scan your digital boxes now. and search for Billionario News Channel. Always on top. From the filing of candidacies until the last ballot is counted, your newest trusted news source, BNC, the Billionario News Channel, will be at the forefront to guide your decisions and guard your vote. Tune in to BNC's Election 2025 special coverage.
Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb.
The questions,
What did you uncover?
Kita natin yung sa IPO, there was a violation of Section 8 of Republic Act 9511.
the issues.
Is there a problem with that, the present setup of the Syntax?
The reason there's a 5% increase is because of inflation.
We clarify matters.
All these government agencies were actually the lowest. That's why it has to be, I hope that it will be addressed.
Pinky Web is always on point.
Welcome back at the forefront. Attorney Nilo, you're a legal luminary, but also religious. We heard that you even go to Mass every day. What is your stand on having a divorce law passed in the Philippines?
Well, as a Catholic, I don't agree on divorce because my philosophy is that everything can be worked out.
So the annulment, you think, is more in line with...
I would say declaration of nullity of marriage, which is more in keeping with what the Catholic faith, likewise Catholic Church also believes or espouses. Declaration of nullity means at the very outset there were impediments to a valid marriage. No? Annulment is more of the same with the divorce. The thing is that if two couples were in love with each other then it's only a matter of determining and finding the same love that got lost along the way. And if the two of them really strive for it, then that love can always resurface, no? Can always come back.
And you think pag there's like, let's say, abuse, physical abuse in the marriage,
There are remedies under the law. Of course, you can also do counseling. As long as the two persons are really committed to make the marriage work, then it should work.
Okay. And now we'll go to categories and you'll give us your top 3 answers. So this will just go by very quickly because you'll have 30 seconds to answer. First, top 3 most challenging litigation cases you've handled. Timer starts now.
Can I mention the
No names. Oh, siguro kahit ano.
Well, the issue of whether or not our client is subject to documentary stamp tax because we're up against the government and the rulings were all against us until we won it in the Supreme Court. No? And then, well, second is, of course, the Okada because it's quite well,
High profile.
High profile. Third, case, oops, sorry about that. Bilis to na. I
So dami kasi, I'm sure mahirap pumili, no?
mahirap.
Yeah. So what would be the third most difficult litigation case you've handled?
Well, there's so many of them, no? But yeah, when we represented the electric company, their franchise, well, the franchise expired and it was given to another, to a businessman. And it was very tough. I think we lost by a vote or so in the Supreme Court.
And banga politics po, have you handled political cases that you found very
Well, not that you
difficult?
mentioned, yeah, there are many other cases that we won, thanks be to God, for a congressman, for a former head of GSIS, no? All resulting in acquittal. No?
Okay, so top 3 most challenging commercial cases that you've handled.
Well, of course,
Timer starts now.
M&A, merger of 2 banks, no? Second, issuance of prep shares to raise money for a client, which are very complicated because there's so many issues involved. No? And third, related to tax, likewise, finding a way in accordance with law, and we're able to save a sizable amount of money for a client.
Okay, so mga tax. Yeah, tax is
Yeah.
always very difficult. Okay, next question. Top 3 most challenging politicians or government official cases you've handled?
Without naming name, of course,
Yes.
a congressman, he was convicted in Sandigan Bayan, but we got it reversed in the Supreme Court on a very important issue regarding conflict of interest. And then second, a mayor from the north, no, convicted likewise, but we were able to work out the client event, not convicted, but tough fight. Good thing that there was an agreement with the complainant, and it worked out positively, resulting in settlement.
And another one, last.
Well, I already mentioned.
What about related to comment?
Yes, another one. So from a mayor, former mayor from one of the provinces near one of the near Metro Manila. So he was suspended and removed, but we got the reversal likewise from the SC.
Okay. Mahirap, no, i-condense, lalo na if you're not able to name names. Mahirap i-condense what
Mahirap
the case is
mahirap,
about.
mahirap.
Yeah. So, here, eto names na lang. Top 3 celebrities that you've handled.
Okay, pwede ba sabihin mo yan?
O siguro
Well,
yung
Chris
mga
Aquino-
na-publicize na, yung lumabas na sa
Of course,
media.
Chris Aquino, right? So, Marvic Soto, recently Small Lode, perhaps, no?
Small Laude, you've also handled her.
Yes.
Okay. And top 3 law students who've made a name for themselves.
Many of them, of course, made names for themselves, but Ephraim B, top notcher in 2020 for bar examinations. He basically broke the spell in 21 years. The last time we topped the was 21 years ago until Ephraim came
And that
along.
was your student.
She's my student. And of course, Ephraim, Arlene also my student. Arlene Manea, now a partner in CCIP. Likewise, topped the bar examination. And then other top notchers now who are working now for the firm.
Ang galing. So you've had several students that became bar top notchers. And just to go back, with Small Laude, what happened to, is she, so she's your client, but what happened to, there's a pending case right now? Meron pa rin po bang
I think there's a gag order. We cannot comment, but soon the decision can be publicized.
Okay. And in this case, who filed a case?
Our client.
Your client Small?
Yes.
Against?
The husband.
Oh, against the husband. Okay. And
No. The husband was the one who filed the complaint.
Yes.
Client, of course, referred by some friends. So it's not between Philip and
Yes.
Small. It's a case filed by Philip against somebody.
yes, but Small is directly your client, but also
Both of
Philip.
them, both of
them. Okay, but there's a gag order right now. Okay, we'll respect that. I know people are so curious, so we had to go back and ask a bit of that. But also, another high-profile client you've handled is former COMELEC chairman Andres Bautista.
No, I did not handle the case.
You didn't handle him. Okay, so this research is wrong. So you're not involved in that. Okay, natatawa yung producer sa... okay, what about... You've handled also Chris Aquino, you mentioned earlier. Are there any updates on the qualified theft case that she filed against her former staff?
I think
the
it
sibling of Jesus
it worked
Falsis.
out. I think that the case was settled. I think they're friends again, I think.
As a lawyer, do you encourage settlement?
Yeah, settlement is the best. Well, you're also a practitioner, Atty. Karen, so
Yes.
settlement is always the best.
But I was curious because kanya-kanyang style yan, because some lawyers, I feel like they fuel the conflict because, of course, they make more money the longer the case goes on. So it's at least interesting to hear and good to hear that
That's
you
not ethical
encourage.
just to prolong a case because you want to
Yes,
make
I
money
know.
out of it, right? So
Yeah.
if the case can be settled, better that way.
Yes, and I agree. And it's also much better for our clients as well. And when you represented also TVJ, Tito Vic and Joey, against tape services, who approached you for that?
A friend of the good senator recommended our firm to, yes. Well, I forgot to mention, TVJ also very important case
Yes,
and
right now.
celebrity. Yes.
Oo. And how confident are you that the libel cases that were filed by Vic Soto against Director Daryl Yap will prosper?
I don't know if we can comment that, but from I think the case is very meritorious, no? And Vic has every reason to do what he did.
Is your client, or are you worried on his behalf that the movie will come out with content that would damage Vic Soto in any other platform?
Well, I don't know if it's accurate or not, but somebody told me that of course he was ordered to take down the teaser, right? But I don't know if this is accurate, but the story based on this guy is that there is really no rape. There is an acknowledgement in the movie itself. There is no rape. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Okay. And just like
Because there is none. There is really none.
And Attorney Nilo, you're also a dean of USC Law School, so you are a legal luminary that's well known in the Philippines. So I'd like to prick your brain on some of the current political issues. So with respect to ACAP, there was just a Senate hearing yesterday. In your opinion, is this constitutional, this type of program?
I hope you don't mind, Attorney, I did not comment because we have been approached by some for either, or we declined.
Yes,
because,
you can disclose, but
yes.
so you have been approached to potentially represent an issue related.
No, both sides. So I'd give an opinion on this and that, so we'd rather not comment. And of course, if much possible, we don't want to handle this kind of case because it's very controversial. I'd rather handle, my county cases, corporate, commercial, where I'm good at. I'd rather, if I can avoid it, I'd rather be involved in this type of cases.
What about, there were impeachment complaints filed against Vice President Sara, and they have been publicly available. Academically, reading through them, do you think those are strong grounds for impeachment?
Parties are, parties on both sides are friends, so at least the lawyers are friends. So again, better not comment.
Mahirap pa rin.
Mahirap.
Pag ano, yes. Okay, so I understand that. And okay, so with respect to Quadcom hearings, one of the bills that was filed was a law on EJK. Do you think that another law on EJK is necessary, or do you think this was something that covers matters that are not yet covered by existing laws?
But of course, I defer to the wisdom of our legislature. I'm sure they see something that may not have been reflected completely or yet in the existing law. But perhaps existing law can also be enforced extensively and thoroughly. Perhaps this new law is brought about by what Congress thinks is necessary.
Okay, so now let's go back to getting to know you more as a person. So let's shift to something light. We'll give you two choices, and then you have to pick one, but you don't need to explain your answer. So, okay, one, commercial law or criminal law?
Commercial law, hands down, right?
Okay, yes, and you're an expert on that. Litigator or corporate lawyer?
Both.
Politician.
But only one, right? So I'd rather go corporate.
Yes, okay. Politician or showbiz client?
That's tough. All right, politician na ako.
Now I'm curious yung mga intricacies of handling a showbiz client. Teaching law or writing about law?
Oh, wow. That's tough. Teaching. I don't teach, yes. Difficult to write.
Yes, that's true. Coat and tie or barong?
Coat, yes. Coat and tie. Yes.
So like now, so this is more the outfits that you wear.
Yes, every day.
More coat and tie. Okay. And right now, you already are a managing partner of DivinaLaw, which is a huge law firm. You're the dean of UST College of Law. You teach law. You write law books. And then you also have a column about law on a newspaper. Have you considered entering politics? But before you answer that question, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back.
terms of the Philippines political context, a lot of leakages, quote unquote, are happening. To actually get that, I think, 28 billion increase in ACAP funds in 2024, that might explain why the ayuda not just is not enough for so many people in need because of joblessness, but maybe even the ayuda being assigned is not even going to those who need it at all.
Bawat anggulo ng bawat issue.
Nagsagawa ng mock polls ang Commission on Elections sa 30 barangay sa bansa kaninang umaga.
Bawat detalye ng mga napapanahong pangyayari.
Pinaiimbestigahan sa Kamara ang hindi pa rin nababayarang reimbursements ng mga ospital sa PhilHealth.
Tuloy-tuloy na ihahatid kahit hanggang Sabado at Linggo.
At yan ang ating weekend agenda ngayong Sabado. Ako si George Cahiles. Sa bawat issue may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
Beauty, adventure.
I do agree with that. I would rather spend my money on travel.
We got you. Join Marie Lozano where she uncovers the untold stories and surprises in the world of lifestyle.
Love it! Let me get my geek on. That was so amazing.
The Lifestyle Lab on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. Get to the latest stories.
The Philippines bags a historic bronze at the 2025 Asia-Pacific Women's Lacrosse Championship.
The updates.
Table tennis power duo siblings brought home medals from the WTT Youth Contender.
The scores and what to celebrate in the world of sports.
I'm Anton Rojas.
And I'm Erica Christensen.
On the scorecard.
Where sports is our business.
And business is our sport.
Only here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
Welcome back at the forefront. Attorney Nilo, you've already accomplished so much. You're the managing partner of Divina Law Firm. It's a very big firm. You also teach law. You're the dean of UST College of Law. You write books, and then you also have a column in a newspaper. Have you ever considered entering politics?
No, I'm happy where I am. So in the academe and running my law firm. Every time you enumerate my blessings, I always say, of course, thanks be to God. No? So thanks be to God for all of these blessings.
So has anyone ever brought up going into politics with you and say, dapat pumasok ka ng politics?
Some are saying that you run for Congress or party list or this and that. No? But after careful thought and consideration, I think I'm happy where I am. In the academe and writing books, teaching, and managing my firm.
And your brother is in politics. You haven't discussed na.
Well, he said that
join him.
sabi niya, Kuya, why don't you run for Congress next year? Ikaw na lang. So when your time is ready, you'll be the one to run for Congress. So not me.
And you also give pro bono legal assistance.
We have a department in charge of CSR, and I mean we just visited 3 clinics last year. For this year, we're targeting, jails. Jail. We conducted legal clinics in 3 city jails last year. For this year, the plan is 6. And of course, together with other projects being recommended to me by the head of the CSR group.
And do you currently handle any cases in Caloocan as part of your pro bono services?
Yes, we do. I think 3 to 5.
What type of cases normally do you get to handle?
Public officer charged unfairly, and some case of grave coercion, and then one inmate said that he spent time more than what we deserved. No? And we're looking into it, and we found a way by which we can hopefully convince the court that he has to be set free.
And you already are doing so much. Meron ka raw dream to also put up a special home.
Yes, in fact, it's Jomar's Haven of Hope Foundation. We're partnering with Boundless Possibilities. We're coming up with something. We'll soon announce it. We will be constructing a facility, an entertainment place for special children in Tanay. a place where they can relax, they can be together with their own friends, no? A place where they can swim, things that are they don't usually enjoy because of their limitation and challenges.
Yes. Where do you plan to put this
In
up?
Tanay.
In Tanay.
So
okay.
the blueprint is now in the works. So we'll start. I already hired a person to help me run it, and she presented me the plans yesterday, and I'm very impressed. And so I think it will be good.
Do you even have time to rest and relax for yourself, Attorney Nilo?
Well, last month I asked myself, what else can I do? I have written books. I'm done with my books, with my syllabus and all. And I decided I should learn how to cook. So now I can do steak. I can do Caesar salad. You should try my angel hair pasta with caviar. It's so good. No? Now I can also do sinigang, adobo, and dinuguan.
Wow.
Yes.
Pero ang galing. I can't imagine it.
All because of ChatGPT and Google and YouTube.
At yung mga recipes.
Yes. But it's very good.
But it's the time that I'm surprised with, because you're dean of a law school and then also managing partner of a big law firm. And then you really spend time with your children. So I really don't know how you balance everything. Do you sleep?
Of course, I have to. It's like 6 to 7.
Oo, ilang hours? 6 to 7? Kaya pa? I was thinking pa, baka mamaya 3 hours
Hindi
lang yung
naman,
tulog ninyo. And you're also the only law firm that I know of in the world that has its own chapel.
Yes.
Why did you deem it necessary to have a chapel? Because
you
ang
know
mahal
very
ng
well-
real
you know very
estate
well,
sa
Attorney Karen,
Makati.
you know very well,
Yeah.
Attorney Karen, that law is a very challenging profession, right?
Yes.
It's so stressful, so many pressures, and you need comfort, right? You need consolation, you need serenity and peace. So what better place can afford you or give you peace, serenity, but the chapel? You just put everything into the hands of God, right? This is my problem. How do I solve it? And then things come to your mind on how to achieve certain things, and then we just implement and then leave everything to God.
Do you find that the other lawyers in your firm have been influenced by that type of thinking?
Yes,
Do you see them
I'm
going
so
to
happy
the
now.
chapel?
I'm so happy that even tenants of tenants in the building go to our chapel to attend mass. So no longer limited to the lawyers and staff of the firm.
Well, interestingly, your surname is Divina and your law firm's name is DivinaLaw. Do you find, in your opinion, that divine intervention is something that's important in,
Always,
how successful you've been?
Yes, nothing is possible without God, as you know, Attorney Karen. That's our philosophy. I'm a Tomasian, proud Tomasian. Nothing is possible without God, and nothing is impossible likewise without God.
So important talaga sa inyo ang prayers for every case you handle.
Our formula, our mantra has always been, you have to work as if everything depends on work, and you have to pray as if everything depends on prayer.
And what other plans do you have in the future? Do you plan to keep growing, or do you want to maintain this size for your law firm?
So we intend to, depends of course on the case and transaction, but based on our estimates, we will be hiring additional lawyers for this year and next year. We're targeting probably 120 to 130 lawyers.
And how true is it that you also reward your students with the trip pag pumasa sa bar? Totoo po ba yun?
Yeah, well, not supposed to be told, but anyway, yes, to motivate my students. So, like a father motivating his children. So I do tell them that if you're able to get this passing rate, we will explore going to this place. If the passing rate is higher than this, we go to this place.
As in lahat ng
And then-
estudyante yan?
And so far, well, all those who passed, no, all those who passed. And of course, I always tell them, and it's supposed to be said, but I always tell them, don't brag about it. No, this is for us. Don't post. Don't announce to the whole world that we have something like this. But for whatever reason, things get shared. No.
Yeah, well, our researchers were able to
but
find
I
out
hope
about
that.
that.
I really hope that these matters can be kept to themselves. What is good for them might lead to certain issues, right? So,
yeah. And then marami na mag-enroll sa inyo para lang makapag-abroad.
Baka sabihin ng ibang, ikaw talaga pinapaan mo kami. Kami, hindi pinapunta yung mga estudyante namin. Baka sabihin. Of course, jokingly, some of my friends, deans, would tell me, Nilo, dapat di mo na ginagawa yun kasi paano naman kami, di ba?
Oo
Sabi
nga,
ko,
kasi
ayoko
ikaw
naman paano,
inaabono.
sina-announce nila. So,
Yeah, so ito talagang abono mo, no? So you make, probably, you spend more as a dean than what you make out of it. So,
yes, no doubt, no
Oo.
doubt, no doubt. No
and
doubt.
we heard that yung sweldo mo raw, dinodonate mo pa
For scholarships.
for scholarship. So up to now, like all these years.
Yes, my money, my salary all goes to scholarships.
Naku, nahiya naman ako. Ay,
And the proceeds of
I teach in
the
law school,
royalties of
dapat
my
pala, may ganun ako maghanap na lang ako na iba na pagdodonatan. But, so never pa kayong sumeldo po?
Well, of course I receive, but I spend
Oo.
for scholarships.
Yeah, I mean, it never, it always
I never,
goes to some
it never
purpose.
benefited me, basically.
And what would be your advice to the new generation of,
Of lawyers.
lawyers?
Well, Attorney Karen, you know that lawyering is a very crowded, right, profession, but there is always room for those who are disciplined, for those who work hard, for those who have dreams and would do everything, of course, reasonable and ethical to achieve their dreams. And always complement everything with prayers.
And if there's one quote that you could say this defines your career,
That's the one.
what
So
would that be?
That's the one. So if you have to work as if everything depends on work, and you have to pray as if everything depends on prayer. You cannot just work alone, and you cannot just pray alone. It's be a combination of work and prayers, and that has proven wonders for me.
But when you say proven wonders, meron na bang time na parang feeling mo, yung sa kasong hinahandle mo, imposible na, matatalo na talaga kayo, and then by some miracle, nagawan pa talaga ng paraan that you
Siguro
were able to...
nagkataon lang kasi mga client namin naman, mga top corporates, right? Tsaka mga conglomerates. So, ang presumption, they did the right thing, right? So, it's not difficult to defend, no, these cases. Dahil yung mga celebrities naman, nagkakataon na mga tama naman sila, no? Yung nasa katwiran, yung mga politiko naman yung represent namin, buti nasa katwiran. So, ang kailangan lang magtrabaho, mag-research, no, at maging prepared yung mga lawyers, no, and that the position of our clients gets articulated in court.
Have you ever said no to a case?
Yes, of course. We not for ethical reasons. No, so, there are grounds under the law, under our code, where you can CIPRA, you can deny or decline cases.
And what would be your parting words? Right now, we're so happy that you gave us your time, but what else can we expect from you? You already have a restaurant, you're putting up another restaurant. You're putting up a special home. I think meron pa kayo iniisip na home for the aged?
Yes. Well, okay. So but you're very good, Karen. I really thought this interview is about the Compendious Reviewer, but you got me so many questions. No? So my advice, parting shot, well, you know, life has many challenges, many problems, many difficulties, but as long as you're clear on your goals and you have a clean conscience, and you have God, of course, you believe in the power of prayers, you don't trample on another person's rights, no? And just continue marching forward until you realize your dreams. Life is a journey. The fun is not so much in reaching the destination, but in the journey with good companions. You may not reach the destination, doesn't matter, as long as you're pursuing the right track. Of course, all for God's glory. Then nothing can go wrong after that.
Thank you so much, Attorney Nilo Divina. Truly inspiring.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Karen.
Attorney Nilo Divina still has plenty in his tank left for more milestones for DivinaLaw and his personal goals. His dynamic leadership, hard work, and generosity has become a source of inspiration to his roster of lawyers, students, and peers. But more than all these, Attorney Nilo believes that the power of prayer can make personal and professional challenges just a slight bump in one's path. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news, always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for meaningful conversations that would help you form an objective personal opinion. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Thank you for spending your hour with us.